She may be the most hated person in Naruto series, but I don't care. I love her outfit. Let's make it. So one thing I really want to tell you that this video is not for absolute beginner, because I will be a little bit faster, and yeah, if you don't know about tools and things, you will definitely lost. But having said that, I'll be explaining what I will do. To make this, as always, I will start from a basic shape, but I'm not going to be showing you how to make a basic shape in this video. If you don't know how to make this kind of basic shape or basic pattern in Moflo's Designer, go watch this video and then come here, you will understand. Let's modify and let's make the beautiful outfit of Sakura. I'm going to start with the shoulder because the outfit is sleeveless, so I'm going to be starting the shoulder maybe from here, like that. Yeah, I think that would be good. And it has a collar, so I'm gonna start this neckline about there, like that. Make sure it's smooth enough. So I'm gonna smooth that out there. I'm gonna smooth that thing a little bit. This is good. Let's fix the back a little bit, like that. And don't forget to smooth, like that. You can see in the 3D window, of course. Like that. Yeah, I like it. The armhole, I'm gonna be making it a bit shorter, like that, and this needs to be a bit closer, not that wider, of course. And of course, I'm gonna be smoothing this thing out, like that, and same thing to the back, like this. Yeah, it's looking good for now. And I might add a dirt here to reduce this unnecessary folds, the excess folds. It happens because of the roundness of the bust area, but I see what I can do. Right now this looks okay, because to make any dress you have to consider the fittings. So yeah, so let's add dirt right about here. I'm gonna add a point here and maybe add a point around here, and right click and uniform split to add a point right in the middle. And you have to know what the apex are. That basically here, maybe you can see here. So I'm gonna drag this middle point to that area. Make sure it doesn't touch the apex area, maybe 2 centimeter. Yeah, maybe like that. 1 centimeter of gap there. So let's make the dirt a bit bigger by manipulating these points. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make that a little bit. Let's sew it and make sure both dirt legs are the same size, and simulate, of course. And you don't see now the excess fabric. Now there is another thing you have to consider when you add dirt. When you add dirt, see, the smoothness is gone, so you have to make it nicer. So I'm gonna delete maybe this and this curve point and smooth like that, and this one maybe like that. So it has to be nicer. Just look at the overall shape of this. So yeah, when you add dirt, the smoothness is kind of messed up, so we have to consider that. Otherwise it's not going to be amazing. So I think that looks good enough. Yeah, I think maybe a bit smoothness there, so let's add a bit roundness. Always remember, the less curve points you have, the better it will be to adjust. And I don't need curve points there, it's not necessary. This is 98.8 and this is 97.8. It's okay. You don't have to worry about that much with 1 millimeter of here and there, but it's more than that, maybe 2 or 3, then yeah, you have to just adjust it. And let's add color. So just add a rectangle like that, and with the segment sewing tool, click here first, hit shift, click here, and make sure the color is kinda almost same, like 0.5 and 0.7, which is 1, maybe a bit there, a bit of there here and there, 3.3 and 0.4, maybe 0.7. It's okay. You don't have to worry about too much about, like, don't worry this tiny difference of measurements, if you know what I mean. Control D to symmetric paste and sew the back, don't sew the front, of course, like that. And let's adjust this a little bit. So I think this is only on CLO3D tools, which you have here, the fullness line. You have the fullness point, which is slash and spread, but I'm going to use fullness line, and it's really amazing. Why? Because all you need to do is just drag like that and drag like that and make it maybe smaller just a little bit. So it will remain the measurement same, but it will make this tighter or fit it. That's what you need, right? So that's okay. And make sure, please, because this is a asymmetrical outfit, so you have to consider overall fittings, because now I'm going to merge this, and when you merge you cannot change this basic shape. So make sure your basic shape looks good, and you can make a backup, which I'm going to do right now. All right, when you're satisfied with the basic shape, let's select the font pattern, right click, remove linked editing, and then with the edit sewing tool, just click on the middle sewing, the center font, and right click, merge, and just select that, right click and convert to curve point, and you can delete this point because you don't need them. Now you have a dirt, that's good. Now let's make the basic shape of the outfit. So you can just grab this and drag it down like that. Don't worry about the fittings right now because this is gonna be different. So just drag it down. You can turn on internal lines to see the internal lines wherever you put it. So I'm gonna start with the middle about here. I'm gonna maybe stop around here and then go maybe like that. Well, that's maybe just kind of good. And just select that, make sure you are satisfied with that. Now select that line, right click, current sew. It's now divided, and find the intersection of the middle point of the body, maybe around here. This is the middle point, so you have to drag the sewing to around that point where the middle point is. Maybe, yeah, maybe there. And same with that, of course. You can simulate, so it would be like that. You have to add a point where this ends, so right click with edit sewing tool and add point to pattern on end. Same here, and you can drag this like that to that area. Make sure this line it's 97.3 and this one relatively same, 97.3. It's 97. So 0.3. Yeah, like that. So it will be just straight. I mean, same. It will look good. Maybe I don't want that much. Maybe 50. So 50.50. Same here. 50. Yeah, like that. So you can simulate and see. Now I'm gonna drag it down lower, much lower, about in the knee area. Yeah, right about here. It's great. Now what I can do is I'm gonna curve that point like that and make sure these two are relatively same curve. This line is 613 and this line is 612, so it's kind of okay. So you have this smooth line, which is amazing, you know. But in the back we have the same may be going on this area, and same with that. I can of course adjust it later, but maybe that area it should be lower than this point. So maybe a bit upward doesn't hurt anyone, like that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click that, right click and interline, maybe 10 should be good enough, and hit OK. And here right click, outline, guess what, 10. And this segment type I'm gonna do its extend, create interline, hit OK. And you can just delete these sewings for now. So with this interline to this outline, and same here, like that. So interline this and this outline, this interline, this outline, simulate. So you have something like that, which looks good. And then what I'm gonna do is I am gonna make this kind of thing. I'm gonna go and add maybe from here. So I'm gonna add 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter of line here. Yeah, turn on this for right now. Maybe from there, Control C, Control V, maybe around. It should be straight. Yeah, like that. And add a 10 millimeter of, make sure this length is 10, so you can just sew it like that and sew it like that, and right click, superimpose over. Make sure it's not very loose, I mean big, make it smaller, simulate. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger, and I'm gonna adjust this maybe a bit there and a bit there, like that. Simulate. Yeah, I think that looks good enough, but I'm gonna still make it a bit smaller, maybe like that. You can measure things, but yeah, I don't like measure. I might change this width a bit bigger, so just drag it like that, right click, 3, drag it, right click, 3. I'm gonna make it this line 13 also, so drag this, drag this line, right click, 3. So the sewing is perfect. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a bit further, like that, and this one also. Make sure these two are same, and make it a bit bigger, simulate, like that. It should be nice and it should be amazing. Let's turn on that and see. Yeah, this looks good. Now same thing, like Control C, Control V, and right click, 23, 25. Let's make it 25. I can always adjust that. Control C, Control V, 25. I'm gonna do it one more time, 25. Control C, Control V, 25. I cannot show the reference what other did, but I'm gonna show you my reference what I did a long time ago. If you see the real reference of Sakura's outfit from Boruto series, you can see there are 3. I just forgot this name. Control C, Control V, this one, and sew it like that. You guessed it, it's probably very easy. Superimpose over, simulate. Again, Control C, Control V, sew it, superimpose over, simulate. And that really looks great. If you think this gap is a bit bigger, you can just always go like 2. Also here, like 2. Same thing here, simulate again, so it will just sift that a bit. Don't spend too much time on that, really. I mean, you can always judge it when you make the dress. I think that looks really good. I really like how it looks. Now let's fix the back a bit better. I'm gonna add a point right about here, so it should be a bit gap from that. And I'm gonna also right click, add point to pattern end, so I get the point where the sewing ends, or maybe a bit lower. You can always judge it and select this segment and just drag like that. So you get this kind of like this. I'm gonna maybe make it a bit bigger. You can also make it like that. Yeah, something like this. Alright, if I made it in real life, I might work with a satin fabric, silk satin, which is with matte finish. There's no satin fabric, but you have the Duchess satin, so I'm gonna use that. And yeah, that looks like that. And I really like how this turns out. Alright, let's make the pant. Before making pants, I recommend you to deactivate everything and hide everything. So let's start with the waistband. I'm gonna add a rectangle like that and add the waistband there. Control D to symmetric paste. Sew it like that, sew it like that. Maybe a bit close like that would be good. No, maybe a bit lower. Yeah, it's make it a bit bigger. So just drapes a bit downish. Don't make it like that. It should be tight and it should be a bit downish. Yeah, I can always change that, but don't worry about that too much. This is the waistband, and I'm gonna make the pants pattern like that, and like this, like that. Should be straight like this. Gonna go to curve point. Somewhere like that. This one maybe like that. Something like that. I'm really bad at making pants. What you can do is, if you're like me, you can, yeah, this shape doesn't look very amazing. You can just right click and add background image. So you can select a file like this and scale maybe 120 or 50, and okay, so you can judge this shape how it looks. Yeah, I'm really bad at making pants. You can go with that. So I never trace pattern that much, but I'm also learning how to make pants. So yeah, and it is really tricky, at least for me, because I honestly I didn't take the pants that seriously, but now I'm only making pants, and probably in future I will make how to make a good looking jeans. Maybe, I don't know. First, let me learn better. Now this looks kinda good looking. So Control C, Control V, and right click in the 3D window, flip normal, adjust this location, maybe they're a bit wide, and Control D to symmetric paste, and same thing, just like the color. So first select it with the segment sewing tool, hit shift, select here, and let's make it a bit bigger. And no, don't simulate. First adjust it, freeze this, and simulate, and let it drip. So I'm not gonna use satin for this pattern. Let's use, yeah, default. So it just drips really heavily, and I'm gonna sew like that, and yeah, it is very tight, so I'm gonna select that and just drag it to make it a bit looser, or loose, like that. Very important part, this area, make sure it's not uncomfortable, so just add leave a little bit of, 1 centimeter of gap, and maybe here, so make it a bit that much, maybe here. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, simulate everything. Oops, freeze that for now, and let's sew like that and sew like that, simulate, and let's adjust it so it should be right just below the knee. And if it's tight, just select that, and with the transform point tool, double click in the middle, and maybe like that. And yeah, it's 20 millimeter bigger, lengthier, 332. So this one is a bit shorter, so I'm gonna make it this one short. Maybe, yeah, like that. So it just don't have this kind of weird thing. And I think, yeah, that's it. Pants, don't expect me to make it amazing. I'm gonna make it, maybe let it down a bit, and yeah, I have to adjust the fittings. Let's make it wide, this one a bit, also this one, and simulate, so it just has enough fabric to work with, because, and this area is super tight, so I'm gonna fix it like that. Make sure both are relatively same in terms of measurements, tight or too loose, something. I mean, it depends. If you are making a leggings, then yeah, it will be tight. If you're making a baggy trouser, then it will be loose. But here, just stick with things like that. And I think I'm gonna make this a bit upward like that. And of course, you can see in the translucent surface that this area is too much right now. So I'm gonna select that and drag it up, and maybe a little bit like that. Don't leave excess fabric there. If you leave that, I mean, it's okay, I guess. I may want to have this one a bit downish, maybe a bit more. So I'm gonna do it like that. So yeah, I need to make sure that the waistband is not very tight on this area. I'm gonna add a bit fabric to that, so it's not so tight. I don't want it too much. Yeah, just a bit is okay, I guess. Make sure you don't have any bad fitted things. You can always see in the translucent thing that you can see this area is not very ideal. So I'm gonna remove a little bit fabric from there, maybe from there also, and make sure the measurement is nice there. So yeah, it has a bit of unnecessary fabric, so I'm gonna remove that from there like that. So it should be gone. And what I'm gonna do is, from the side seam, this one, I'm gonna go and just leave this unsewn, maybe like this one, so it will be like that. And same thing from here. So just make sure this is 117. They should be 117, somewhere like that. Both should be same. See the fittings, and I think that's good enough. I still want to make it a bit more, so it just fit nicely on the hip area. Should not be too tight, should not be too loose. All right, now you can just unhide that, show 3D pattern, and like this. Pants gonna be go a bit down, I think. So this one, yeah, pants should be go a bit down, so I can see the belly button nicely. Maybe fit a bit better here, and like that. Show it, unphrase that, and put the pant pattern to -1 layer, and freeze this and simulate, so it will just be on top of it. I still want to do a bit down like that. Let's see. Whoa, let's adjust this. Let's adjust this one also. And yeah, I think that looks okay enough. Let's add a bit detail on the outfit, the main outfit. Let's start with the color. First, select this to right click and convert to group point, and select everything, right click, layer clone over, and select this new patterns, right click, remove link editing, and then symmetric pattern with sewing, delete the auto sewing. Well, carefully sew that like this one, and front should be like that, and simulate of course, and then select everything, reduce the collision thickness to 1, simulate. All right, let's make it a bit nicer. So I think you remember this length is 10 millimeter, 1 centimeter. So I'm gonna add 1 centimeter here also. So add internal line 10 millimeter. Okay, like that. This line and this line should meet. I mean, it's not actually good. I think I'm gonna make it a bit in the left side. I mean, sorry, right side. Simulate, and let's sew it like this. And top one also 1 centimeter. Sew it like that. It will be cut and sew later, but now it's okay. So bottom one, I'm gonna be maybe adding 8 millimeter because I don't want 10 here also, like that. So yeah, you have a good looking collar, but not until you reduce the particle distance, but not now. Let's start with the armhole. Let's add hems to that. So select that, maybe add 8 millimeter, should be fine. Maybe 1 centimeter, like that. Here, maybe a bit tricky, but like this. And you don't want any curve points, so right click, convert to curve point. It should be like straight, I mean one line, like this. And select this lines, so there shouldn't be any gap, like this. And with the trace tool, right click, trace as a pattern. Same thing here. It will be divided because of the dirt. I hope it's not very complex. It's not, of course. Sew it like that, sew it like that, sew it like that, sew it like that, sew like this, sew like that. Select everything, right click, superimpose over, and make sure it's 3 and collision thickness maybe 1. Simulate. So you'll find a nice looking hem there. But of course, you have to sew that, you have to sew that, you have to sew that, and simulate. Great. I mean, don't reverse sew. Well, not merge, but right click, reverse sewing. Don't reverse sew anything. Your sewing should be nice. Otherwise, yeah, it will look very bad. So select all 3. Control D to symmetric paste, superimpose over. Whoa. Oh, of course, you have to sew here because I just removed the linked editing, so you have to do both. I mean, twice. So simulate, I mean, sew like that first, like that, and superimpose over, and there, yeah, simulate. Make sure, yeah, it is just everything is on. Yeah, perfect. It looks like a bit balloonish. So what you're gonna do is just select that, right click, internal line, maybe 2, and same here, maybe 2, not maybe, but yeah. You don't need this kind of points. Make sure right click and convert to curve point, and sew it like that. I hope, guys, it's not very, I mean, complex. That's why I warn you, it's not for beginners. Don't worry, beginner. Oops, no, this line is reversed. So select that, right click. It should not be here, it should be under, I mean, inside. So reverse direction. Okay. Next Sunday, I will upload complete beginner series to Marvelous Designer. I think it will be really fun because I'm putting a lot of effort to make that, and yeah, it will help you to start with Marvelous Designer. Delete the sewing, sew it like that, and same thing here, like this. So you'll find amazing line there. So it's not very balloonish effect, which I don't want. And you need to do this here because I removed the linked editing, so I have to do it twice like that, and you have to sew it. This outfit is gorgeous, but same time it's kind of tricky. And then I'm gonna make this one a bit better. First, select these lines, offset as internal line, maybe 2. Select this and also 2. Select all of this, right click, layer clone over, right click, remove linked editing, delete the auto sign because it's not very amazing, and sew it like that. Make sure sewings are not reversed. It should be straight like that. Also here like that. Yeah, there are a lot of sewings, so you just have to familiar with these things like that. And select everything, reduce the particle distance maybe 2, and collision thickness maybe 1 or maybe 0.5. It's very small. And simulate, of course. It will be gorgeous, I promise you. Like that. Isn't it amazing? Yes, it is. I'm gonna add another fabric just like this one. So select this, select this, select this, trace like that, simulate. Did I say simulate? So like that, select that, collision thickness to 1, superimpose over, make sure it's underneath the pattern, otherwise it will be a bit tricky. Maybe I want 0.5, not 1. It's 1 could be a bit bigger. I mean, yeah. Yes. Right click, deactivate, then simulate, and you can just activate it later. Whoa, just deactivate everything for now, but simulate but first nicely and then activate because I don't want any interfere. Yep, this should be nice. This has to be nice. And then same thing here and here. This one maybe 10. Yes, so I'm gonna select that, 10. Again guys, if you think this is a bit faster, I'm sorry about that, because if I go it slow, it would take so much time to finish it. So it like that. Oops, like this, like that, superimpose over. Make sure this is like thickness 0.5, this should be 0.5, and trace that, simulate, sew it first, and then make sure it's 0.5 and simulate that. Make sure you're sewing from this to that and from this to that. And yeah, and one last thing, which is this pattern 10, same as before. I might change that 10 and then cut and then delete this, and this sewing, yeah, let's delete it. Select this and this, trace and delete that. So here, so here, so here, so here, make sure sewing is not reversed. 0.5, superimpose over, and Control D to symmetric paste, superimpose over, simulate, and you have to sew from this to this. So free sew like that. Let's free sew like this and simulate to see how it looks. Yeah, I mean, should I go a bit further? So just drag this sewing right about here, drag this sewing right about here, like that. So yeah, and so here like this, like this. Perfect, that's great. And of course, so from here to there, like that. This may be a bit complex, but it's not. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna add a line right about here, like that, and select this, trace, oops, select that, trace, so like that, make sure it's 0.5 and superimpose over, so it will be there. And I think it will be a bit freaked out by no. Wow, amazing CLO3D. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this two and Control D, superimpose over, and it's not sewn, so I'm going to sew it again. You have to put another toe line and sew like that. Oh, okay, not like this. This measurement and this measurement may be a bit different, so I'm gonna trace it again like that. Yeah, sometimes this does like that, so just forget about that. Sew it like that, sew it like that, sew it like that, sew it like that, superimpose over, and make sure it's 2.5, sorry, 0.5, and simulate for now. Yeah, I think that's great. And so here, so in 3D window, so you will be a bit, I mean, if you're not comfortable with that, you can sew it in 3D window and sewing like that. I hope it's not very complex again, guys. And this sewing, I'm gonna be like that. Yes, I'm sorry, I am not explaining that well, so that's why it's not for beginner. I mean, you have to understand sewings and things. It is already very complex design. Last thing I want to cover, which is to make it a proper what? Oh boy, come on. Why you have to do that? Be nice, brother. Okay, for some reason it's just not gonna work like that, so I'm gonna select that and deactivate it for now. I think 0.5 is not very 0.2. I mean, I don't want that bulginess there. It's just good. Let's see, and activate those. Don't freak out, please. Behave like a good child and make me happy. Thank you. I don't go more complex than that. Just leave it like this. It's already, I think it's getting complex. So yeah, let's talk about how to use color. So I don't think I should work on this pose. I might change the pose to my same pose, which I do every time, like this. So load as a morph, and yeah, posing tutorial will be coming. Don't worry about that. I mean, yeah, a lot of cool videos will be coming, so stay tuned and subscribe. Yeah, I have to still learn about posing because I do morphing, which is not very ideal. And when you're done, make sure to sew it, simulate it, and make sure nothing is bad. Color, yeah, make the color maybe 5. So it's gonna be a bit better. I could do a lot of things, guys, but this is from the post, so don't worry about that. I could do a lot, but let's just, finish here, and let's just briefly talk about how to add color, how I add color. So do whatever you want. I'm just going to be showing you how to add only color. The texture you can download from anywhere, or you can make. When we have that, just add a fabric and name it maybe main fabric, or main color of this dress is red. I'm going to be selecting maybe a warm red. Select that color. I'm going to be selecting maybe this red. Hit OK. Select everything and assign that. So yeah, this red is okay, I guess. Now copy this and add a white color. Don't go too deep white, because deep white and deep red does not look very good in 3D. Yeah, maybe a bit off white is nice. I'm gonna be, let's rename it white. I'm gonna be selecting this. I'm gonna be selecting that. I'm selecting this. I'm gonna be selecting that. I'm gonna be selecting this, and let's assign this first, and that looks really amazing. And then select this, assign it white. Whoa, amazing. Now I'm gonna be selecting this line, this line, this line, this line. Right click, cut and sew. Select that, 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 that, and white. Oops, select, don't forget this. So yeah, I'm really liking this. Yeah, forget about pants because I'm not very amazing with that. So yeah, I think that looks really amazing. I hope so. Here's the outfit of Haruno Sakura from Boruto series. You might not like the character, but the outfit you should like, because that's an amazing outfit. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave me in the comment. And if you have any personal questions, you can message me directly on Instagram. Or if you have any freelancing work or something, you also can contact me through there. Link is in the description. Have fun, post it, tag me on Instagram, and happy simulating. Bye.